Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, we're going to talk about some feedback that we've provided to the developers, and the developers have provided a response. So one thing that I truly appreciate about these developers is that they will take feedback and they will act on the feedback that they can act on. We know that every piece of feedback we get cannot go our way, but the cool thing about these developers, about Fun Plus, about Super Helen or Community Manager, is that they take the feedback to heart and they really truly look at what they can do. And if they can't do something, they'll tell us. And that's what we're going to go over today. A ton of feedback response gives some hints to what's coming. There's a lot to discuss here, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Let's go ahead and dig in. That was a little bit longer intro than I typically do, but I really wanted to make the point in the beginning that I truly appreciate that the developers and Super Helen taking the feedback and really digging in and looking at what can be implemented. We know that all the feedback that we provide can't be implemented, but what can? What makes sense? What's going to improve the game for the overall community? So let's go through the feedback that they gave back. There you go. Feedback in progress. I think this is cool. It's still early to share all the details here that they mentioned, but Umbral Rift, there's a lot of feedback around Umbral Rift, around the restrictive time frames. They say here, Umbral Rift participation is getting an update to make participation time more flexible. This next part was interesting to me. With some sort of bonus or damage modifier to incentivize live participation. That's an interesting piece of information there, because are they going to allow you to stage teams so that you auto combat and then get some rewards based on that? I know that there's been some suggestions around that. So that's interesting. Incentivize live participation. So maybe we're going to pick a time frame. Anyone who can go in and participate during that time gets increased rewards, and other people, they can stage teams maybe and get some decreased rewards, but at least it's rewards. They're not getting rewards now. So, hey, I think that's cool. I'm very excited to see what comes of that. A certain beloved, check this out. A certain beloved legendary champion will be upgradable via gameplay. Now, a lot of us having conversations around this, we think it's going to be Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman deserves to be a mythic. There's rumors around a mythic version of Wonder Woman. We think probably skins and variants and stuff are probably, they're open to it. We know, we've seen comments in Discord, probably later down the road. But this is very interesting. And what does that gameplay look like? Is it a story event? Is it what? What could that be? So we're thinking it's Wonder Woman, which I think would be absolutely awesome. So we know that that's coming. Server migration. So we know server migrations are coming too. We know that the developers are working on the infrastructure to allow that to happen. But one thing that Super Helen calls out is it's most likely going to be after all the cross-play, all the cross-server gameplay in the roadmap has been launched. And just kind of a quick reminder on the roadmap. Here's the second roadmap. A few things cross-server that hasn't happened yet. We have this cross-server tournament. Don't exactly know what that is. But we also have cross-server Guardian event that is coming as well. We don't know when that's going to hit. So a few cross-server items before this happens. I think it makes sense, but we know it's coming. It's needed because we do have older servers that the participation, that the activity on older servers, especially the pre-launch servers, right? That's what I'm talking about mainly, has really come down. So I think that's really cool. We've got some other feedback in progress here too. Check this out. One additional free league train. All right, so league train. I haven't put a video out on a league train. It's a pretty simple concept, though. You get a train, you go ahead, you have a certain number of spots. Everybody goes ahead and stages their teams. The challenge with the league train is that once everybody fills up all the slots there's a certain number, but more people can go ahead and put their teams in there. And then it's random. It's a random selection. There's no rhyme or reason, but it's a random selection of characters that get to jump onto the train to get those rewards. Now that train, if you own a territory, you get one per day, which is cool. Awesome. You can also pay for a train, which in my currency is $100. Now, if you pay for the train, you're guaranteed rewards. So that's awesome. You're guaranteed to get on the train. But if you don't own a territory, then you don't get a train. You have to pay for it if you're going to have a train. Now, it looks like what they're going to do is they're going to add one free train a week as long as you meet the minimum number of league members, not territory requirement. So whatever that might look like, we don't know what that looks like. But I think that's cool. League mobilization, individual reward rules be changed, will be changed, so that they're not tier restrictive. So I think what that's mentioning here is, so you have different tiers as you work through league mobilization. Once you claim all the rewards for one tier, every tier after that is locked. You can't claim any more rewards. So it seems as if they're going to take the lock off, and you're going to just be able to continue to collect those rewards all the way to the end of the event, or until you max those rewards out. So I think that's cool. Server league management and QOL improvements, some pretty cool stuff here. R4 and R5 league chat, I think cool. An @ function in chat. So I know that they are trying to make this game a very social game, so that everybody can communicate better. And I think more ways for us to communicate in game is very, very cool, because some people don't like Discord and some of those third-party apps to communicate. So the easier they can make it for us to communicate in-game, the better, I think. All right, however, they're still hesitating on whether or not to offer league name changes. So I don't know. I don't know why that's a sticking point, but man, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming, it seems like. More ways to sort champions, new way to use dollars. Now, this is cool. So I'm very curious on this because we have way more dollars in the game than we can spend. I mean, I spend almost anything that you can purchase with dollars in game, I purchase, and I continue to tick up. I'm in like hundreds of millions, I think, right now. So very interesting to see it via a new upgrade system. So kind of curious what that looks like. What are we going to be upgrading and using dollars for? Maybe something to keep in mind as you're saving up your dollars there. But right now, you're ticking up so much, you don't even need to worry about it. Improvements to coordinated assault order in Umbral Rift. So here's some other stuff here too, right? So feedback we've heard but need time to address. So these are things that they're really thinking about. Friend invite system needs to be more intuitive. Darkest Timeline UI needs to improve. This right here, there's currently a team lock debuff that many players mistake for a bug. I think I know what that is, and I was working through a recent Darkest Timeline, and I went into a battle and I had characters that were locked, and I'm like, what the heck is happening? So I went through again, and when you select one of the nodes to do battles, it will say in there that certain characters can't be used, like a certain tag characters can't be used. Like, it was a JLD team, the run that I was doing, and I picked a node. I didn't even realize it. I picked a node that says you can't use JLD characters. So, yeah. So something to make it a little more intuitive, I think, is good. Open 5 mother boxes, daily task. Right now, you just open them all at once. I mean, that's great feedback. We need to be able to either select how many mother boxes that we want to open, especially when you get to a point when you are saving resources for the hoarding events, right? Like the Supreme Commander and League Mobilization. I think that's good. Red notification dots. There's always too many, in my opinion. A way to review story scenes is needed. I think that's pretty cool. And then more in-game emojis. I don't know. I think there's a ton of emojis, but hey, you can always have more, right? Feedback. So this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier too. Feedback that they've heard, but they have their own thoughts on. Limited Darkest Timeline chances. Now, there's been a lot of feedback around, hey, we've only got 5 chances. We want to be able to do more so that we can practice more, or so that we can strategize more, just get more experience, because people really do love Darkest Timeline. One thing I've realized on my streams is that people really like watching it. I mean, I just had a stream recently where I was going to switch to stream, and I put a poll in chat. I said, hey, we can either do some more Darkest Timeline or we can switch over to here. Everybody wanted to see more Darkest Timeline, so everybody really likes it. Darkest Timeline rewards don't reset. That is okay, because I know that there's some additional themes and challenges that are coming. We saw it in Landscape, because right now you see it says Crisis 1. I believe we saw like Crisis 2 through 4. So we know that more stuff is coming through that. And it looks like that first content update should be coming soon. Combat cycle rewards don't reset. That has been a huge piece of feedback. It looks like they're waiting for players to currently max out the rewards. So maybe they're going to wait for a certain percentage of players to max out the rewards in combat cycle before they add more rewards. Supreme Commander Hoarding Cycle. Oh, I was disappointed in this one because y'all know how I feel about hoarding events. I have kind of changed how I explain that, though. I think for early players in the first month or so of the game, hoarding events are very, very bad because it hinders your progress. Now, there's something coming up I'll touch on that, but it hinders your progress. Later in the game and more end game stuff, you've just got a lot of resources piling up, and it's easier to do those types of events. Now, they say that this is a proven formula in the genre, and when they talk about the genre, it's the strategy game genre, the 4X genre, like State of Survival and Call of Dragons, things like that. It is supportive to long-term player growth and retention. It's also a major source of free-to-play gems. Now, I cannot argue with that. There is a fair amount of gems to get through Supreme Commander, and probably the reason to do it maybe earlier rather than later. There's also some AC/DC shards and things in there too. However, they have plans to change that. They don't have any plans to change it. However, they are continuously looking at and reevaluating the missions and rewards, so that it does feel like there's a payoff to hoarding. So I think if they balance that out, if they increase the rewards so it doesn't feel like you're hindering your progress, I think then it'll be much better. A no claim all button. I don't like this. I don't like this answer. I've been screaming for a claim all button, and they did this with the rare chest where they wanted us to click on the chest because they feel like it's more impactful when you're continually clicking and smashing your phone. However, I don't. Anyway, we think it's important for new players to manually collect because it forces them to get familiar with their base. It doesn't take much time to get familiar with your base. It really doesn't. Anyway, so no claim all button for a while, but I'm still going to scream and fight for it. All right, feedback and review. So this is just some stuff that, let's see, just some of your feedback implemented since the last newsletter. So I think this is cool. I like that they're calling this out. So Adam, Joker, Scarecrow, Bane, Batgirl, Red Robin, and Penguin were all buffed. Yes, we were screaming about that. Unlimited league donations were added to ensure you always have a source of league contribution. That was something they added back. So it was in landscape because once you fill everything up, then there's no place to donate anymore. And then you're just sitting on league donations, right? So they added that back in. Automatic leadership transfer was added, which was good. The ability to save and deploy preset squads. So presets always something that is asked for in all kinds of Hero Collector games. Gear transmutation costs were reduced. They were reduced, I believe, by half. The in-game strategy guide was updated with more lineups and legacy pairings, which is nice. Legacy pairings, maybe that's what they're talking about. Legacy pairings will be explained by a lore description in each piece. You know what? I think I completely read that wrong. I thought there was going to be a bonus to it, but instead, it's a lore thing. Okay. All right. I may have already deleted it after the editing, but hey, you know what? There we go. Okay. Let's see. Where were we at? So just quality life improvements were implemented, right? Including filtering by team tag, champ deployment on the champ deployment screen, filtering by class, things like that. And in a world record for the community feedback implementation, Claim All was reinstated. This is true. I just mentioned this, the rare league chests, right? Where they felt it was more impactful to individually claim each one. Man, that was changed overnight. I put my video out on it. And then when I woke up the next morning, everybody was telling me that the Claim All was already added. So I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, so actually, I didn't intend to go through every single one of these, but we did. This, I think, is just important, and I'm glad that they're giving us this in this newsletter type format, so they can say, "Hey, we've implemented some stuff. Here's some things that we're listening to and some thoughts that we have." I think it is fantastic. Hopefully, we see more of this. I think we're going to. The more communicative that they can be and that the community can see, I just think that further enhances the relationship between the community and the company. Anyway, this video has gone on quite a while. I really like this. Hopefully you do too. I'm very interested in your thoughts. What do you think about the feedback and what's been done so far? And what hasn't been done that maybe you don't see on here that you're waiting to hear feedback on? Anyway, I think that's pretty cool. Thank you all. I appreciate you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.